Hey, this is Tony here with Saltstrong, and this video you're about to see is a video from our pre-trip planning mini course, which is exclusive to our insider members. This video in particular shows some helpful resources we like to use when planning a trip. Now, the rest of the mini course, which is only available to insider members, is dedicated to walking you through, different types of areas you should be looking at when pre-planning a trip. And now we are talking about, flats, marshes, also docks, whether they be in residential canals or actually out on the flats. Different times of the year, winter versus summer, hot versus cold. Those are going to be important factors, and also considerations to take into play when it comes to the wind during those different seasons. So this mini course is geared to help you better plan your trips when you plan to get out there on the water. So in this video here, I wanted to go over some helpful resources that will help you plan your next trip, and it's everything from checking the weather, checking the tides, picking an actual spot, and also if you happen to be fishing from a kayak or a paddleboard or a small vessel that you can almost launch off the side of the road, there's a really helpful resource for that as well when it comes to finding launch locations. So number one, the most helpful resource you're going to find is going to be Smart Fishing Tides, which is included with your insider membership. You can find it on the homepage at saltstrong.com, or if you're in the community, you can find it in the menu section there. But what it is you can pick a tide station wherever you may be. Let's go ahead and look over in Texas here. You can pick a tide station close to where you plan on fishing, and it will give you a strike score for that area. And what the strike score is, it's basically a number from 1 to 10, and the higher the number, the better the bite should be. So as you can see right here, a 9 would be very high, so that would probably be a good day to go out. And when you click on the day, it will give you the tides for that day as well, and also the wind forecast, the weather. Is it going to be sunny? Is it going to be cloudy? Is it going to be raining? So things like that are going to definitely help you plan out your trip. Gives you hourly feeding level projections depending on the time of day, and also the tides. A lot of variables come into play here to predict those feeding predictions. And then you can look up the local weather radar there. You just click there. Satellite map if you want to find an exact spot you want to fish without going to Google Maps, all included right here. Sonar map, this is a feature that we are currently working on and will have available to you guys very soon. And what it is, it's basically contour maps that you can overlay on the satellite map so you can see what the depths may be in the areas that you're trying to fish. So very helpful resource and tool for pre-planning your trip. And then next, if you want some more sort of individual resources, I like to use Google Maps. It's been the most reliable for me when it comes to looking at satellite maps to find some spots to fish. And you just click on satellite right there, and it will bring up the satellite map here. Nice thing about Google Maps is that it has some features to it that you can use to really dial in on some spots. So you can see you have the normal feature here, which is like 2D. And then if you click on this icon down here, it will actually tilt the view so you can sort of see, if you happen to have some mangroves or pockets or bridge pilings or things like that, you can actually see a little bit underneath them when you are looking at the map. So nice to have that 3D feature. You can also turn the map if you need to. It can give you a little bit of a different view. So that is Google Maps there. Then another thing I like about Google Maps is the ability to use Street View. So if you're looking for a spot to launch a kayak or a paddleboard, or you want to take a look at what the area sort of looks like from the street, you can do that as well. So as you can see, you got Street View here. You can see the mangroves and the shoreline. You got some cuts in the mangroves there. This also helps you sort of see, if there are no trespassing signs in certain areas, or if a boat ramp, you can actually see what the boat ramp looks like from Street View if there is Street View available in that area. Then as far as weather and wind conditions, for the weather, I like to use just the basic weather.com. You can type in your city, it'll give you an hourly forecast that will usually be the most accurate. The closer you get to your trip, the more accurate it's going to be. What you don't want to do is look at it a week ahead of time. Don't plan your trips a week ahead of time and figure that's going to be what the weather's going to be like, because most likely it's going to change by the time of the trip. So always check the weather either the night before or even the morning of your trip before you hit the road, because that will give you the most accurate forecast. And one thing I like to do, especially when it comes to the wind, is sort of cross-reference different programs or different sources that give you wind forecasts. So the next one is Wind Finder. This is a great tool to use. You can download an app on your phone as well for this, and it's a great app to use to sort of cross-reference what the wind forecast is going to be. If they're all pretty much in agreement, pretty close agreement, that wind forecast should be pretty spot on. But if you look at one thing, you look at weather.com, it says one thing. You look at Wind Finder and it says something completely different. The wind forecast is going to be very unpredictable, so you may want to be a little bit more cautious on those days, because the wind could end up coming from an opposite direction and get very choppy out and make it pretty dangerous out there, or just miserable to fish. So definitely cross-reference different weather apps and different forecasts. Then lastly, I want to talk about Google Earth. This is a program that you'd have to download onto your computer. It's not available on your phone. And really the only benefit that I see using Google Earth is that you have the historical view feature, where you can actually look at different images of an area. So I'll quickly show you how that works here. Let's go to, let's say, this island right here. So to get to historical view, you're just going to go to the view option on the toolbar, click on historical imagery right here. That's going to give you a little toolbar there to sort of scroll through, and as you scroll through it, it's different time periods or different years, and you can see different views of an area. So checking out the end of this island here, this is actually pretty recent, February 2022. If we go back, so there's a different image there. You can see that is sort of a high tide image. All of that structure that you saw there is now gone. And the nice thing about this imagery is if you can do the opposite. Let's say you're looking at an image that's taken during high tide. If you can find an image that was taken during low tide, you can actually see different things that may be there. Oyster bars that may be covered up that you can't usually see, shallow sandbars, things like that. So if we keep scrolling back, that's a bad image there. So look at this one here. This is a very low tide, and if you zoom in, you can see there are oyster bars there. So really great tool to use if you're trying to get a better idea of what may be in an area because of those historical images. Oyster bars don't really go anywhere. They're usually always going to be there. So it's nice to be able to actually know that they're there by seeing them on an image taken at low tide. So again, those are the resources and tools that we like to use when pre-planning your trip. Go ahead and check out the videos down below, and we'll show you some great examples of different types of areas that you would want to take a look at when you are planning your trip. Now, keep in mind, even though we are looking at a specific area, the same rules apply no matter where you may be planning out your trip, as long as you're planning it around it being a flat, whether it be in the summertime or the wintertime, or a marsh in the summertime, wintertime, or fishing docks and residential canals, summertime versus wintertime. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video from the mini course, and if you are interested in the full mini course itself, you do have to be an Insider member, and our Insider members have access to a whole library of these mini courses to help them catch more fish and have more successful days out there on the water. So if you're interested in that, definitely be sure to check out the Salt Strong Insider Club at saltstrong.com. And if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we're the best online fishing club in America, especially if you're targeting redfish, sea trout, snook, or flounder. There's nothing else like it because we actually guarantee that you'll start catching more inshore fish while saving time and money. We do this through premium education, our exclusive insider fishing community, and huge discounts on the best tackle for saltwater anglers. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, we hope to see you again soon.